Hey, it's me, Uncle Ricky. Hey, look, you know what? Sometimes there's an advantage to being old as fuck because you get to, like, listen to all the music coming up from birth to death and how you feel about it and whether you accept it or reject it. You got a wide variety. Well, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and I grew up on soul music, and Marvin Gaye, he's no longer with us, but he created, a plethora of platinum and gold hits, and one of his biggest hits was a song called "What's Going On." It talked about all the things that were a problem in American society back in the late '60s, early '70s. The war in Vietnam, the civil rights revolution, the sexual revolution, and the Temptations made one about the same time called "Ball of Confusion," which was a song about how confused the world was and how difficult it was for an individual to cope with what was going on in the world because it was so confusing. Well, we roll forward to 2023, and we've lost a lot of these entertainers, singers, but their music goes on. And if you pose the question that Marvin Gaye posed, "What's going on?" the only answer in 2023 about the situation in America is the Temptations song, "Ball of Confusion." Now, follow along with me. 2023, here we are on the verge of basically America maybe going down that rabbit hole into another civil war, second one in our history. Shit goes wrong, it could be the last one in our history as the United States of America. But if you go back in history and you look at the first Civil War, cause and effect, the Civil War was all about the rights to own human beings as slaves, and supposedly the Civil War ended that feeling. And it was also supposed to bring the Union back together and eliminate that feeling that a certain group of people had the right to dominate another group of people into a marginalized existence. Well, the Civil War may have ended, and Afro-Americans, I don't even like the term Afro-Americans, blacks were free to become Americans and be Americans, benefit from what American ideals said they were. Liberty for all and justice for all and no person above the law and all people created equal, blase, blase, on into infinity. But we know in 2023, blacks are not the only people that are oppressed. We know that just about every other minority is oppressed just because the color of their skin is different from the people that want to be the ruling class. We also know that that old ideal of religious freedom doesn't amount to shit anymore, because it seems that the only religion that is free to be a religion in America today by design or default is Christianity. There is no equality between the sexes. I mean, it's on paper it says, we can pay people the same for doing the same job regardless of, sex, skin color, blase this and blase that. But in reality, when you break it down, they use every trick in the book to pay women less than men, to pay blacks less than whites. It's open hostility. That rise of that fucking evil spirit is now open. There's no more hiding it. The former president of the United States tore the cover off of, the racism, the misogyny that was hiding behind the guise of civility and politics. All that being said, this country is locked in a ball of confusion. Nobody knows what's going on because anything that comes out of anybody's mouth could change in the next second, in the next minute, in the next hour. Nobody wants to take accountability, and everybody is all about themselves. Former president, everything was his way, for him, about him. And even 2 years out of the White House, there is not a news cycle that goes by that his name is not mentioned multiple times, even over famine, even over disease, even over natural disasters. The name of what the fuck is predominant in the American news cycle. And to a pretty much same point when they talk about America internationally, the name of Trump. And he's a nobody, a nothing, a criminal. First president in the history of the world, or in the history of America, to be indicted criminally. And we go on, the party that supports him, it's a joke. They are ineffective. They dominate the House and they have done nothing. They have passed no laws, resolutions, gotten anything accomplished to help the people. Everything is a stunt for them, for their cause and their people, their ideals. America's on the verge of perhaps maybe even going bankrupt because they won't do the simple thing that everybody before them has done, and that's raise the debt ceiling. But just like little petulant children, they want to throw a temper tantrum and say, nah, we're not doing it unless you give us what we want. And we know everything we want is ridiculous and it's going to fuck somebody over and install us as dictators. But we want you to take that now, then we're going to use the debt ceiling, the budget, the national financial reputation as hostage. We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck who it hurts. We want what we want, and we want it right now. It's no more about the greater good. It's no more about the rule of the majority. We even proposing shit that our own people don't want. But we don't give a fuck because it's really not about them. They were dumb enough to put us here, but now it's about us. We want to rule. Oh, and by the way, you can call it republicanism, you can call it conservatism. We call it MAGA, but in reality, it's all fascism. We know it. We don't give a fuck because it's about us. Ball of confusion. We use the ball of confusion. We raise anarchy. We raise chaos because it takes the eye of the public off of what we really want to do. While we got you locked on anti-CRT, anti-wokeism, the Bible in school, book bans, and y'all get all tied up in that because it supports your own little narrow-minded ideas of way shit should be. And we claim this is, a national priority. We fuck you over every day, every minute, every hour, and American democracy becomes less and less. And authoritarianism, autocracy, theocracy, all blend together, and you can call it what you want to, but it's fascism in the end. Ball of confusion. We do not give a fuck about your personal liberties. MAGA, you don't, women, hell no, you are second-class citizens. We talk about how Democrats groom and make our pedophiles and take our children into and exploit them sexually. And this can't be. But yet and still, members of the party in certain states like Missouri are saying, hey, it's okay to marry a 12-year-old girl. It's okay for a 56-year-old man to marry a 12-year-old girl with the parents' permission. What is that? Is that not grooming? It's just despicable, distasteful, but that's what you want. And to get what you want, you try to tell us we can't have what we need. You talk about, we don't want to give any more money to, school lunch programs in public schools. But yet and still, you want to give your representatives more lunch money at the public's expense, at the taxpayer's expense. You want to raise tax on people that you consider less than, but you want to protect the people that put money in your pockets and yourselves on the upper level. You want the less to support the most, and you want to benefit from it all. You talk about transgenderism. I can't even wrap my head around the transgender concept, but I can wrap my head around the concept of human rights. As long as they not hurting me, as long as they not breaking no laws, they got the right to be whatever they want to be. And because I know what it's like to have your rights reduced, nullified, and taken away because you are different from the people in power, I will protect their right to do what they want to do every day, regardless of religion, regardless of whether I can understand the concept or not. They people, they have the right to live. They don't deserve to be marginalized, just like I don't deserve to be marginalized. They don't deserve to be persecuted, just like I don't deserve to be persecuted. But yet and still we have a faction of the government that currently has power, that every day they go out, they do everything to put these people out of the protection of democracy. They do everything they can do to put people that look like me, the people that are red, people that are yellow, people that are poor, people that are brown, out of the protection of democracy. They do everything they do to change the meaning of democracy in the United States. The only democracy they care about is their will or their right, which they assume to be their right, to fuck over everybody else for their own benefit. That's where, if you want to know what's going on in America, that's where we are now. We are a nation that is stuck in a ball of confusion. And if we don't straighten this shit out soon, if we don't hold people accountable, if we don't live by what's printed on them papers, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, we might as well give it up. It ain't no more America. It ain't no more me. It ain't no more you. It's just them and what they decide to do to people like us. Well, that's it for me, Uncle Ricky. Look, I'm going to sign off and say, peace out and God bless like always. See you when I see you. Bye.